Few things match the sheer intensity of falling in love anew. You meet someone, the gravity shifts, and suddenly you slam together. In those early days, you're looking through a thick pair of emotionally tinted glasses. They're powerful enough to blur out almost any questionable about your shiny new interest. But a strong romantic pull can easily mask the empty space underneath. If you don't actually share common interests, life goals, or basic everyday experiences, there isn't much to build on. Without that shared ground, relying entirely on physical attraction leaves you with a terribly weak foundation. The moment real weight is applied, it caves in. Eventually, the relationship gets serious. The initial rush of dopamine levels out, and the quirks you brushed past start sharpening into focus. Some friction is entirely normal. Couples disagree. But there is a wide gap between healthy compromise and flashing red warning signs of a dead end. The real tension lies in figuring out whether you are adapting to grow together or slowly erasing your own sense of self just to keep the peace. Spotting these specific behavioral red flags early on is the best way to protect your authentic identity before a toxic dynamic washes it away. Take a look at your social circles. It's fine to have separate friends, but an active mutual dislike for each other's inner circles often points to a deeper incompatibility with who you both actually are. On the flip side, you might be spending so much time together that you've effectively excluded everyone else from your lives. Calling someone your whole world sounds poetic, but taking it literally creates a dangerous dependence. Relying on one single person for all your happiness is a heavy, unsustainable burden. Cutting off outside friends and family dissolves your personal boundaries. Extreme isolation doesn't make you closer. It melts you down into an identityless dependency. We all filter our personalities for a first impression. We dress nicer and put extra shine on our smiles. But that performance takes a lot of energy, and it's supposed to fade. If you're months into a serious relationship and still feel required to curate your personality before hanging out, that exhaustion points to deep foundational trouble. Closeness requires vulnerability, and vulnerability demands absolute mutual trust. Without it, honesty simply can't survive. When that trust is missing, showing up as slyly checking phones or constantly calling friends to check in, it chokes out any oxygen the relationship needs to grow. You should also watch how they treat the people they don't have to impress. It's incredibly concerning if your partner is sweet to you, but unreasonably cruel or impatient with a waiter or a driver. A partner who wears a polite mask for you while lashing out at strangers is showing you their true capacity for cruelty. As soon as the mask slips, that hostility turns around. You might also notice the effort becoming entirely one-sided. You're the one planning the dates, starting the conversations, and pouring in unreturned energy. Worse is when your input is actively ignored. Your opinions are constantly overridden, and decisions are made for you with the expectation that you will quietly play along. Then comes the constant stream of criticism. They frame it as being for the better, but they are picking apart how you dress, speak, and act, treating you less like a partner and more like a renovation project. Over time, this relentless control and critique strips away the exact traits that make you valuable. You are being aggressively carved away to fit a mold you were never meant for. When open communication dies, passive aggression takes its place. Instead of addressing issues head-on, you get backhanded compliments, held grudges, and heavy sarcasm. Occasional disagreements help couples understand each other. But if almost every conversation turns into a volatile screaming match, it saps whatever energy is left in the partnership. Sometimes the breakdown isn't even malicious. You might just be on entirely different life paths, prioritizing a career or still getting over an ex. The timing simply refuses to collaborate. But whether the cracks come from terrible timing, screaming matches, or a complete lack of trust, ignoring them won't magically sew the scenes back together. Enduring this kind of toxicity week after week shatters the structural integrity of the relationship. Eventually, it collapses into a mess that can't be put back together. Perfection in a relationship is a myth. Every couple has flaws, but emotional safety, honesty, and mutual respect are non-negotiable requirements. You have inherent value exactly as you are. You do not have to settle for a dynamic where your voice is smothered or your personality is treated as a flaw to be corrected. By identifying these early warning signs, you give yourself the power to walk away from manipulation. You can stop shrinking, start shaking off the damage, and restore the brilliant, unique person you actually are.